All right, here's an interesting thought. Isn't it interesting how we perceive no as negative and how we perceive critique and feedback as negative? So, the last two episodes, I talked about no. And I talked about how it's so important to receive critique and feedback. Like, you need to know where you're wrong. That's just the reality of it. You need to know where you're wrong. You need to know how to make better decisions, healthy decisions. You need to know where to improve if you're going to move forward. All forward momentum is based off critique and feedback and then saying no. The problem is, for whatever reason, we have an internal belief where we think no and we think feedback is negative. If I do something that people are going to critique me about or give me critique about, I'm going to be rejected. And that's really not true. And if you're hanging around those people that act like that, I'll be real with you. You probably need a different friend group. You want to have people who are supportive of where you're going. Now, supportive also means they're going to tell you when you're messing up. That's really a friend, right? I had this discussion with an actual friend of mine earlier today, and one of the things we were talking about is what true friendship is. And true friendship must include truth, love, honor, principles, and where we are unified around those things, right? And by principles, I mean this. I cannot be friends with somebody who's going to be a drug dealer. I don't want to violate my principles. My principles to be a husband and to be a father and to be a good and healthy leader. I can't be around somebody whose principles are violating mine, right? They're direct opposites of mine. They're not violating mine, but a better way to say it is their principles are directly opposite of mine. We're not going to be friends. How can two be agreed? I mean, how can two walk together unless they're agreed? And that's what I'm talking about. And so if you are looking at your friend group and you see how much feedback you get from your friend group, they might not be friends. And the childhood definition that we have of friends, by the way, is we get together, we have fun, we hang out. That's friends. That's not friendship. Friendship runs deeper than that. Fun and enjoyment is a part of friendship, but friendship runs so much deeper than that, right? I mentioned you have truth, you got love, you have honor, and you have principles. Those are core facets of friendship where you honor each other, to where you're not just disparaging towards each other. You're not just disparaging towards one another, their goals and their accomplishments. You're for that, and you're for how you can actually help your friend move forward. And if there's real honor, there's going to be truth. And if there's truth, there's actually going to be like genuine love towards each other, to where you actually care about where the other person's going. And then there's a refinement of your principles to improve and change. And I'm saying all of this because if you are not in a place to really receive feedback and critique, you need to find that group to help you. If you are looking to move forward in life, you got to find that group of people in your life to help you move forward. You cannot be attached to people who, one, do not believe in themselves. If you are trying to believe in yourself, you can't be around people who are trying not to believe in themselves. You'll get dragged down. There's a proverb that says, don't be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. It really does. Like, don't think it above yourself that you could be corrupted or influenced by people. There's been so many studies out there that if you put a toxic worker next to an average productive employee within 15 feet, without even having them say words, productivity drops by 25%. Versus if you have a high improving employee, a high driving employee, right, who's above average, you put him next to that average employee, productivity goes up. And I don't know exactly what the percentage is. I can't remember what study. But the point is, you look at that and there's an effect on people. There's an effect on you by your friend group. And I think it's very interesting how we want to stay in the friend group because we don't want to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable and you choose to face that uncomfortability, it will be one of the best decisions you've ever made in your life. Great things come out of uncomfortability, and great people are willing to work through the friction, willing to work through the problems, willing to have real discussions, right? You start leaving the friend group and you'll find out the real people who care about you, they'll be willing to work through the issues or things that you have, and you can have some real conversations about things. And then you'll actually know who's real and who isn't, and who's willing to move forward. See, friendship is a bond that allows you to actually move through and actually allows you to experience friction, hardship, offense, problems, whatever it is, right? And then work through it, and then you're stronger on the other side. And I think that is so important. I think it's so important to have that. And if you don't have that, start looking for it, because everybody needs that. It is so important not just to do life alone. You should not do life alone. And I'm not saying that there won't be times where you feel lonely, but what I'm saying is you should look for that core group of people who are like-minded and like-hearted and really move towards them. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.